Hello, my name is Anna, I'm a digital fantasy artist, and today I'm going to make a video about all the art advices that helped me during my art journey. And I'm really excited for this video because it's really important to give back to the art community, so I really hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. So the first advice that I would definitely give for anyone who is just starting out or is trying to change their style or is having any type of tough time during art is to not give up. And I know this is a simple advice and everyone tells you not to give up, but when you take it seriously and when you start remembering that you shouldn't give up when you're facing a challenge, it really helps you, because it's so much easier to drop art, especially if you're beginning and you just really want to stop whatever you're doing when things start going wrong. So I wish someone had told me to not give up and keep going, because between my art journey I took lots of hiatuses, so I stopped drawing. And if someone had told me to not give up and that it is going to be hard, but you should just push through, maybe I would be in a much better place now. It is really tempting to just leave the art as it is and go pursue another hobby or just go get another career. So it's really important that we remind ourselves that we shouldn't just give up. So I am still going to say that not giving up is still one of the main advices I would give people. So keep pushing it. My second advice that has a lot to do with not giving up is that sometimes you are going to have a bad day, but just show up. And what do I mean by that? I mean, just sit down on your chair and grab your pencil. Sometimes you are so tempted to just ignore the 1 hour of painting you have to do. Maybe you have to paint during the weekend and you really would rather just sit on your bed and watch TikTok all day, but just show up. Showing up for yourself is so important for your art journey, and it helps you make art a habit. So if you're having a hard time with consistency and stuff, just show up for yourself. Sit down, do 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just appear. It's like the gym advice. When you're too tired to go to the gym and you give up, at least you went, So showing up is already so important. So that's what I wanted to say. And it's really easy to throw a tantrum and stop painting when you've made one bad painting. So it's important to keep doing it, because sometimes we make one bad painting and we just throw everything up in the air and give up, but it's just a bad day and you always have tomorrow. And sometimes you're gonna look at your painting tomorrow and think it's good and be proud of it. So just show up. My third advice is for you to finish it. And it's really important to finish the paintings you start, because you need to go through all of the process. You will learn so much by doing so, and especially the style you want to have. I made a video about styles, and I feel like it's really important for you to finish your pieces and go through all the processes. If you always start a new painting and stop when it's the rendering time, you're never going to learn how you want your final artwork to look like. So don't worry so much about style. If you want to watch my video, I'm going to leave it right here. But just worry about finishing your paintings and not giving up in the middle of the process. It's really important for you. My fourth advice is similar to the second one, and it's about knowing that you're going to have bad days and you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes I always want to give up when I think the piece is looking bad, and it's really important for you to understand that sometimes this is going to happen. You're not always going to make your best work, and you're not always going to have the same type of painting you've did in the next few days. Sometimes you have one really good painting and then you go back to painting how you painted last month. So it's important to know that, so you don't have such high expectations on yourself. Like your style and how you paint and how well you do with each composition and each idea is going to vary a lot. So it's important for you to understand that you might make your best painting a day, and then in the next one, you're not even going to be able to sit down and sketch something you like. So it's important to understand that, so you don't get mad at yourself. My fifth advice, and it goes hand in hand with my last one, is to always try to understand what you did wrong. Sometimes we paint something and we immediately forget about it and go to the next painting. And I really feel like it helps when we think about what we did wrong and what we did right after we finish a painting. We need to understand that so we can improve. So being able to criticize your own work without judging and being so hard on yourself is a skill that you need to practice. Because if you are able to have an honest talk with yourself, you're going to understand what you like and you didn't like, and which part of the processes you struggled with. So ask yourself these questions, so in the next painting you have an easier time. For example, in this painting that you're seeing, the speed paint, I struggled a lot with water, but I have only made like about 2 studies of water in this year. So maybe it's a sign for me to go back and study more waters, so when I paint a body of water in my next painting, I have an easier time. So it's important for you to look back and actually look your mistakes on the face and recognize them. Instead of just shoving it aside and pretending you never painted it, just truly try to understand what it's missing in your work so you can better improve, and it's going to make your process so much faster and easier. And it doesn't need to be only about one topic like water. Maybe you struggled rendering the face, so maybe you need to practice more portraits. Or maybe you struggled with the hair, so maybe you should practice the hair. Or maybe you struggled with a whole part of the workflow, like you couldn't figure out the flat colors. So maybe you should study color theory. It's important to understand where you struggled so you can have a better time when it comes to that step in the next painting, instead of just thinking that you're going to magically know how to paint hair in the next painting, because sometimes we have these sorts of expectations on ourselves and we get frustrated. It really helps if you film your process as well, so if that's a good tip, maybe just looking back on where you think you got things wrong. It's really easy sometimes to forget what you did, so filming your process can help. My sixth tip, and I would argue my most important tip, is for you to make it fun. Art can be so damn hard and it can be so stressful, so try to make it fun for yourself. And I don't mean make it so fun that it's distracting, because you should be really focused when you're painting so you can get the results you want. But don't make it stressful, because if you sit down to paint and you're stressed, as if it's like you're taking a test of a really hard subject, you're never going to relax. And for you to paint in the ways you want to paint and have inspiration and creativity, you need to be okay with yourself. You need to be okay with the situation you're in. So bringing a peaceful mindset to your workspace and making it fun can actually relax you and make the whole painting process easier. And how can you make it fun? For example, I like to listen to podcasts or albums that I love, and this relaxes my mind and helps me go through the hard process of my paintings. So if you like something, leave it playing around, or maybe light up a candle. Maybe you relaxed with certain smells, or maybe treat yourself. Tell yourself oh, I'm going to paint for an hour and then I'm going to eat a certain snack that I like. Or I'm going to paint for an hour and then I'm going to take a walk and go to a coffee shop that I love. Try to make bargains with yourself and try to have fun in the process. It doesn't need to be bad, I know some people who watch TV shows while painting, but that never worked for me because my attention is completely divided. So I just leave it for sounds. But yeah, like just listen to things that make you laugh, or maybe listen to a friend talking with you. Maybe you can call a friend or just sit there with them while you paint. Sometimes this is what you need to make art fun, because it's supposed to be fun, you know? It's not supposed to be something that you hate. And once you make it fun for yourself, you're going to realize you want to paint every day, and it's going to become a habit. So it's a really, really good tip that helped me improve so much. My 7th tip is to go back to sketching on paper and making gesture drawings. Whenever I struggled during my art journey, I would always go back to sketching on paper, because I feel like this tip is especially for digital artists. We tend to spend so much time painting digitally, and we kind of forget we have sketchbooks. And sketchbooks are so important because, first, the sketch is a base of a painting. Like, some people can paint without a sketch. I can do that sometimes, but it's important to be able to sketch, even if you don't need a sketch for you to paint. It's still important to sketch. And a sketchbook is where you can make your ideas flow easier. And there's just something about sketching on the paper that just, is so different from the idea of digital art. So if you're struggling, something that helped me is to go back to sketching. And if it's really important to go back to only drawing, and it doesn't really matter what kind of art you do, because sketching is fast and it kind of even relaxes your mind in a way. But you could try to draw from imagination, you could try to draw from observation, and I would tell you to try to draw your own worlds. Let your sketchbook be like a reflection of your own mind, that your art is going to get naturally better, because you're going to remember why you started drawing in the first place. You're going to start to remember, what do you actually want to paint? Like, aside from the studying and the characters, what do you want to paint? So it's really important to go back to sketching and making gesture drawings, because I feel like they are really important, especially for character artists, for you to honestly remember why you started making art in the first place. And before we end up this video, I would tell you a bonus tip is to start a YouTube channel or start posting on Instagram. I know Instagram isn't having its best moment recently, but having an art community makes art easier, because you are able to share with other people with a similar skill level as you. And I feel like once I started like posting on YouTube regularly and having like some sort of consistency where people expect me to post something, it really motivates me to keep going, even if I think the art I make isn't my best. So yeah, that's basically it. I am almost done with the artwork here in the speed paint. Here are the close-ups. It's Ailing from Throne of Glass series, and if you know her, please comment down below, and please tell me if these tips helped you. If you have any advice for me, I would love to hear what you have to say. And that's basically it. I just want to remind you that my commissions are open. This would be around the $200 commission. You can see this little Rowan in the back there. I almost didn't add him, but I really hope you like my art and you liked my video. And please subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!